The bandage came off slowly. One layer, then another, then another. The doctor's hands were steady. Mine were shaking so badly I had to grip the examination table just to stay upright. 8 months. 8 months of total darkness. 8 months of trusting every sound, every voice, every whispered, "I love you," to tell me where I was and who was with me. And now, light. Blinding, searing, beautiful light. I gasped. Actual tears streamed down my face before I could even process a single shape. The world was a wash of gold and white and blur. And I laughed. I laughed through the crying. Because after 8 months, even blurred was the most gorgeous thing I'd ever seen. "Take it slow, Maya." Dr. Ferris's voice was calm, practiced. "Your eyes need time to adjust. Don't try to focus yet. Just let them breathe." I nodded. I blinked. I waited. And that's when I heard it. A sharp, metallic sound, like someone quickly pulling their hand back, like something sliding off a surface. Or off a finger. I blinked harder. The blur was thinning. Shapes were forming. Across the room, by the window, a silhouette. A woman. Her right hand raised to her mouth, her left hand tucked behind her back. My vision sharpened by another degree. Long, dark hair, familiar posture, the slight way she tilted her head when she was nervous. I'd known that tilt for 15 years. "Carla?" My voice came out soft, confused. "Maya!" She stepped forward immediately, arms open, face breaking into that luminous smile I'd trusted since we were 22 and sharing a 2-bedroom apartment on a budget that barely covered ramen. "Oh my God, you can see! Maya!" She wrapped her arms around me and I let her. I hugged her back. I was still blinking, still adjusting, the room still swimming at the edges. But my eyes kept pulling back to her left hand, the one she'd had tucked behind her back, the one she was now pressing against my shoulder as she held me. I pulled back. I looked down. My breath stopped. On her ring finger. On her ring finger! The diamond caught the light like it always had. 4 carats. Oval cut, set in a vintage platinum band that my grandmother had worn for 43 years before it was passed to my mother, and then, on the night of our engagement, to me. My wedding ring. On Carla's hand. The world tilted. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. My newly healed eyes were still learning how to lie to me. Or maybe they were the first thing in 8 months that had finally told me the truth. "Are you okay?" Carla was watching my face, reading it. She'd always been too good at reading my face. "You look pale. Dr. Ferris, is that normal?" "Completely normal," the doctor said, already turning to his chart. "Emotional response to light restoration. Maya, I want you to take it easy for the next 48 hours. "I need a minute," I said. My voice was strange, flat, like something had unplugged inside me. Of course. Dr. Ferris smiled warmly. "I'll give you 2 ladies a moment." He left. The door clicked shut. Carla and I were alone. 8 months of darkness, and every day of it she had been there. Every single day. When Daniel had gone back to work because we needed the income, Carla had moved in. Carla had guided my hands to light switches and medication bottles. Carla had read me the text messages I couldn't see, the emails I couldn't answer, the news I couldn't follow. Carla had sat beside me at 3 a.m. when the nightmares came. The ones where I relived the accident over and over, the other car running the red light, the impact, the glass, the darkness that swallowed me whole. Carla, who had held my hand at the hospital while Daniel paced the hallway. Carla, who knew what every piece of my jewelry looked like because she had helped me find each piece for 8 months. Carla, who was now wearing my grandmother's ring. "Carla?" My voice was barely a sound. "What is that on your finger?" The silence that followed lasted exactly 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. She stopped, started again. "Maya, please, take it off." The words came out before I decided to say them. "Take it off right now and explain to me what is happening." Her face did something complicated, something I'd never seen before. Or maybe something I'd never been able to see because I'd always been looking too hard at the surface of her. Guilt. Raw, animal guilt. But underneath it, and this is the part that would destroy me, something else. something that looked horribly like love. If you're already feeling what I'm feeling right now, subscribe, because what I'm about to find out will shatter everything I thought I knew. Don't miss a second of this. "It's not what you think," she said, the oldest line in the world. "Then tell me what it is, Carla, because what I think—" My voice broke. I pressed my mouth to my hand. "What I think is that I have been blind for 8 months, and you have been living in my house, and that is my grandmother's ring on your finger. I was keeping it safe. You were wearing it. I was—" Exhaled. "Maya, please, sit down. Let me explain." "I don't want to sit down. I want to know—" And then the next thought hit me like a second impact, worse than the first, because this one I could see coming and couldn't stop. "Where is Daniel?" Carla's face went absolutely still. "Where is my husband, Carla?" He's at work. You know that. He had meetings." "He had meetings," I repeated it slowly. "On the day his wife gets her sight back, he had meetings." "Maya, please, call him." "What?" "Call him right now. I want to hear his voice. I want to hear him tell me he's in a meeting." She hesitated. 1 second too long. I snatched her phone off the examination table before she could stop me. I didn't need to unlock it. The last text thread was already open on the screen. And the name at the top. Daniel. My husband's contact, with a heart, in my best friend's phone. I scrolled up with fingers that had gone completely numb. The messages went back months. "I miss you." "I know, me too." "She asked about you today." I didn't know what to say. "You don't have to say anything. Just be there. I'll handle the rest." "I hate this." "I know, but it's almost over." Almost over. The examination room was very quiet. Outside, I could hear the hospital, muffled footsteps, a PA system, the ordinary sounds of a world that had no idea what was happening in room 4B. My heart was beating so loud I could feel it in my teeth. 8 months. He had been my husband for 6 years. We had been happy. I was sure we had been happy. I remembered being happy. The vacations and the Sunday mornings and the way he'd held me in the hospital waiting room when we didn't know if I'd ever see again. "She asked about you today." When did that start? That was the question that was eating me from the inside. Had they been together before the accident? Had my blindness been... Had they used it? Had every single day of darkness been a performance? "Maya," Carla's voice was very close, very soft. "Please let me—" I turned to face her, and I watched her watch me understand everything. "How long?" I asked. Her eyes filled with tears. "How long, Carla?" 7 months. 7 months. Out of 8. 1 month after I lost my sight, they had found each other. In my house, in my home, while I was sleeping 3 rooms away, navigating by touch through rooms I couldn't see, trusting the 2 people in the world I loved most to be exactly where they said they were. I don't remember walking out of the hospital. I remember the automatic doors opening and the sun hitting my face that could finally feel sun and see it at the same time, and I thought that I should have felt something pure in that moment, some uncomplicated joy. 8 months of blindness, and this was supposed to be my resurrection. Instead, I stood on the sidewalk of Mercy General Hospital with my newly functional eyes staring at the ground and my old life dissolving around me like sugar in rain. Where do I go? Not home. I could not go home. My sister, Priya, lived 40 minutes away. I hadn't called her much during the recovery. She had her own life, 2 small kids, a husband that worked nights. I hadn't wanted to burden her. I called her now. She picked up on the second ring. "Maya? Oh my God, how did it... Are you okay? How's your sight?" "Priya," my voice cracked clean in half. "I need you to come get me, and I need you not to ask me anything until you do." 3 seconds of silence. Then, "I'm already getting my keys." Is this the moment that changes everything? Before we go further, subscribe and share this video. What Maya discovers next will leave you absolutely speechless. Don't let someone tell you how this ends. Stay with me.
Priya arrived in 31 minutes. I know because I counted every single one of them, sitting on a bench outside the hospital with my new eyes staring at the ground and my old life dissolving around me like sugar in rain. She pulled up and barely had the car in park before she was out and walking towards me fast, and the look on her face, the alarm, the recognition that something catastrophically wrong, made the tears I'd been holding back finally break through. She didn't say anything. She just held me. We sat on that bench for 15 minutes. Then I told her everything. Priya's face went through 5 stages in 40 seconds. Disbelief, horror, fury, a very brief period of stillness that I recognized as her processing system rebooting. And then, the ring. Her voice was very barely a sound. Grandmother's ring? Yes, that
He'd called 11 times since yesterday. Texted 16. I'd read each one with my new eyes and felt nothing. The most recent one, Maya, please, I can explain. I love you. Please just come home and let me explain. I set the phone face down. At 7:31, a different notification. An email from an address I didn't recognize. The subject line, "You deserve to know the truth." My hands were steady when I opened it. The email was from a woman named Renata. She was a colleague of Daniel's at the architectural firm. She explained in careful, measured language, been seeing Daniel for 3 months before my accident. She had ended it when she found out he was married. She had found out through Carla. "Your friend came to me," the email read, 6 weeks after your accident. She told me everything. She told me that with you, incapacitated, Daniel was finally free to do what he wanted. She wanted me to know that I should step aside, that she was going to be the one he ended up with. I read that sentence 3 times. She wanted me to know that I should step aside. Carla hadn't fallen into something after my accident. She hadn't been swept up in circumstance, in proximity, in the weakness of 2 people leaning on each other during a crisis. She had planned it. She had gone to my husband's previous affair partner to clear the field. She had moved into my home and used my blindness as cover. She had worn my ring, my grandmother's ring, as a rehearsal for the life she was building in the ruins of mine. My hands started shaking. I was not sad anymore. I was not devastated. I was incandescent. I called Priya. "I need a lawyer," I said when she picked up. "The best family lawyer in the city. I need them today." "I already have a name," Priya said. "I looked it up last night. And I need to know if it's possible to press charges for..." "Priya, is it possible to press charges for something that happened while I was disabled? For someone abusing a position of care?" A pause. "I don't know, but we're going to find out. One more thing." I was already moving, pulling on the clothes Priya had lent me, catching a glimpse of my own face in the mirror. Eyes clear, expression hard, nothing like the grateful, blinking woman who had sat in that examination room yesterday. "I need you to take me somewhere first." "Where?" "Home. I need to go home." "Maya?" "Not to talk to them. I need the ring back." My voice was completely level. "That ring was my grandmother's. It is mine, and I am going to walk into that house with my own 2 working eyes and take it from her finger myself." The silence lasted 2 full seconds. Then Priya said, "I'll drive." The house looked different in the daylight. Of course it did. I hadn't seen it in 8 months. I'd built a tactile map of it in darkness. 5 steps from the front door to the hall table, 12 to the kitchen, the 3rd door on the left. But my eyes were giving me something new now. Small things I'd missed, or things that had changed while I was navigating by touch. There were 2 pairs of shoes by the door, Daniel's and Carla's. She had never stopped living here. Of course she hadn't. I used my key. The lock turned. I pushed the door open. The kitchen was to the right. I could hear movement, the sound of the coffee maker, the low murmur of voices. They hadn't heard me come in. I walked toward the sound. They were standing at the kitchen island when I appeared in the doorway. Daniel with his back to me, pouring coffee, Carla facing him, her hands wrapped around a mug. Her left hand, my grandmother's ring catching the morning light. Daniel turned first. His face went through something I would spend a long time thinking about. Not guilt, not horror, but a very specific kind of relief, like someone who'd been holding their breath finally letting it out, like he'd been waiting, like part of him was glad I knew. That was somehow the worst part. "Daniel," he started. "Don't." The word came out very quietly. Carla set her mug down. Her eyes were moving between me and the door, calculating, already in the middle of figuring out what she was going to say. "I'm not here to talk," I said. I looked directly at Carla. "I'm here for my ring." She looked down at her hand. Then she looked back up at me. And something happened in that moment that I had not prepared for. Because I expected guilt, I expected defiance, I had even expected anger. I had not expected grief. Real, raw, genuine grief on Carla's face, like she had already been living in the loss of me, like she had spent 7 months grieving a friendship she was destroying. "Maya," she said, her voice was completely shredded. "I'm sorry. Take it off." I know there's nothing I can... Take it off." Her fingers went to the ring. She slid it off slowly. She held it out across the kitchen island. I walked forward. I took it from her hand. It was warm. I hated that it was warm. I put it in my pocket without looking at it because I couldn't look at it yet without breaking, and I would not break here. I would not break in front of them. "I've spoken to a lawyer," I said, in that very quiet voice. "I want you both out of this house by Friday. I will be filing for divorce on Monday." And Carla, I turned to look at her one last time, at the face I'd known for 15 years, the face that had been the last face I asked to be near before I lost my sight. "If you contact me before I contact you, I will be exploring every legal avenue available to me. Do you understand?" She nodded. One tear fell. I turned around. I walked back through the hall, 12 steps to the front door, 5 to the front steps, which I had no reason to count anymore because I could see them. And I walked out into the morning. Priya was waiting at the curb. I got in the passenger seat. She didn't say anything. She just drove. And I sat there with my grandmother's ring in my pocket and my new eyes burning. And 8 months of darkness finally becoming something I understood. Not blindness, a test. And I had no idea yet whether I had passed. But here's what I can tell you. 3 days later, I got a second email from Renata. And what she told me, what she knew about Daniel and Carla, and the real reason my accident happened when it did, that's when this story stopped being a story about betrayal and became something much darker. Subscribe, turn on notifications. Part 2 drops Friday. Comment below. Do you think Maya should confront them again or let the lawyers handle it? And did Carla ever really love her, or was this calculated from the beginning? I'll see you Friday.